D man, back again. Hope you guys are doing well and blessed. Wanted to make a video, man. At work at the and I heard a segment on the show, and it was on the relationship Wednesday, man. And what the young lady was saying, I think her name is Egypt. Um, I forgot her last name. I know she's on HGTV, Egypt. I can't think of her last name, but she said something that I always say. And it's so funny when I hear people say what I say, it just validates the stuff that I say sometimes. And I say that in a humble way, not being arrogant. But I just want to give relationship wisdom in about 2 minutes flat, maybe even about a minute. Um, One of the tips as a man and a woman, especially young couples, when you're in a relationship, we so often look to tradition, which is not bad. Some people don't look at tradition, so you want to have a balance in tradition. But I want to talk about roles. So often we see roles. Not, I don't think roles are a bad thing. I think roles can be a good thing, whether that's the man doing this, the woman doing that, stay at home mom, whatever. That's okay. And that tradition has its own way, and in every society, culture, demographic region in the world, people operate differently. Some work together, some do this, some do that. It's different from the Africa, the various countries in Africa to Asia. I mean, it's all different, even from the Bible times. Um, Even at that times, the women did work, but it's all people do their own thing in relationships and marriages. But oftentimes, it's set by culture. Culture sets the model. But I want to talk about something. I want to talk about teamwork. I'm a big advocate for teamwork. One of the most important things you can do in your relationship is be a team. That's financially, that's in your work ethic, that's in your pursuits of whether it's education, whether it's bettering yourself in different areas. Be one, man. Don't get to a point where you are you are expecting your mate to do everything or you do everything. It's a balance. It's a delicate balance. And I think as a society, we put so much pressure on one individual. As a woman, you better do A, B, or C. You better stay at home. You better do this. As a man, you better work 80 hours. And sometimes a little pressure is good, but every relationship is different. Every relationship has their own niche. Whatever can work for you. I'm going to tell you the truth. What works for them may not work for you. Maybe what works for them may work for you. But at the end of the day, the most important thing is be a team. Have that team mindset in a relationship. I don't care if you're rich or poor. Be a team. Work together. Grind together. Shine together. Laugh together. Cry together. Love together. Be a team. That's the most important thing you can be, is be a team. And then number two, which is a balance off of number one, communicate, man. Communicate. Communicate the ideas. Communicate the vision. Communicate even the frustration. Okay, this is what I felt. This is why I said that. Communicate. So often issues come up not because people hold it in, but because people don't know how to handle conflict. How do you handle conflict? How do you handle disagreements? How do you handle to say, I think this way, and your mate say, I think that way? You handle it peacefully. Because why? We're on the same team. You're not my enemy. So often arguments start because we wanna get each other's throat to win the argument. And that's so foolish because we're on the same team. That's human nature though. It's human nature to want to win at everything. But you have to see wisdom. Wisdom is saying, number one, we're on the same team. And then number two, we have to communicate. A part of good communication is saying, hey, I'm sorry for that. We're on the same team, babe. We're not gonna keep arguing. We're not gonna go down that route. Don't let America fool you and make you think that all it's about is just partying and having sex and not. No, man. When you're talking about growing in a relationship for over years, you look back at some of these relationships, 40 years, 80 years. The people were one, man. The Bible talks about being one flesh. But one thing about, you can't be one flesh if you're not a team, because that's like you being a point guard and your girl is a shooting guard. Okay, y'all running down the court, trying to shoot the ball. She comes steal the ball and then run the opposite way and then lays it up. Well, you say, why? What are you doing? Why? Because we're on the same team. Don't shoot against me. Don't block my shot. And that's what couples got to understand. You're on the same team. Your money, my money. My grind, your grind. We together. And that seems so foreign to us because we have been saturated by the quote unquote, I'm my own self. I do self. Me, me, me. that culture don't really get you nowhere. Every culture that come over here and prosper, the number one thing they do is they stick together as a team. Any race of people, I don't care if they're diaspora, Africa, Asia, Mexico, they come together in their team. We better understand the importance of teamwork, finances, in every way of life. Teamwork is number one. Then number two, you communicate that teamwork. This is what we're going to do. This is what I think we should do. This is how we're going to do it. And if I don't know how we're going to do it, let's talk about it and let's see how we're going to do it. Teamwork, man. Teamwork and communication are the two most important tools to grow in a long-term relationship. Those are just two of many. Communication, teamwork, you throw faithfulness in there, you throw commitment in there, you throw love in there, and out of all of those, you even throw forgiveness. Forgiveness might be the most important. It's many tools and nuggets of a relationship to build a relationship over a long period of time, but just to get you started, you got to be a team. You got to be a team. Ain't no way around it. If you fighting against each other, how you gonna grow? How you gonna grow and you can't grow with each other? And then number two, guys, communicate, man. When you communicate, man, that's to get in that sweet spot, man. That's like you watch a basketball game, man. You know, you got two great players, Malone and Stockton, or Kobe and Shaq back in their heyday. You know, any some Steph Curry and Thompson. When you get in that, when your communication so good, when you understanding so good, man, you know where this guy gonna be at. You know how to pass to him. You can do a no look. Why? Because we're on the same team, man. We practice this. We know this. This is us. It's the same thing about a relationship, except it takes years to happen. And what happens is we sometimes are frustrated because we don't see it overnight. Well, you're not going to get anything overnight. A relationship takes time. You have to grow. You have to mature. And then you have to define what's the relationship. What am I going to, what are some of my roles in this relationship? Like I said, roles are not bad, but above roles is team. Don't put roles above team. Team is always above any role. If we're on the same team, I can take out the trash, you can take out the trash. This is teamwork is above even roles. And we got to see that. See, one thing about the people in the Bible, man, they were so locked together by their regions, by their religion. It didn't matter if he was a man or woman. God, he's used some great women to do things in the Bible that you like, she did that? So it's not a matter of a gender or role. It's a matter of teamship, commitment, communication, forgiveness. Those words that get thrown out, those are the words that build. Those are the building blocks of relationships over a long period of time. All the superficial stuff, the stuff on social media, that stuff is nothing, man. You got to have a person in your heart. You got to communicate. You got to sometimes just shut down the social media and say, me and you, let's talk, baby. Let's get this thing right. That's what communication is. It's growing. It's not saying you won't have problems. It's saying we're going to see how can we work through these problems. And that's what we got to understand, guys. I said this video was going to be a minute or two. It ended up being 8 minutes, man. I pray that this blesses you guys, man. Y'all know my passion's relationships, man. This your boy D. I'm signing out. Be blessed and have a great night.